All right. Hello, everybody. It's June 18th, flying right by. It seems like we were just here. I don't know what happened to the week. But anyway, we are open for questions. If you guys have anything you want me to address right out of the gate.
Yeah, I've got one.
Yeah, go ahead, Dwayne.
Yeah, I was working with one of my coaches this week, and a reminder, I'm the holistic attorney training people up to reduce stress for their legal dramas.
Yeah.
And as we were talking about it, he was seeing it as a bigger thing that right now the legal system is half shut down, the courts are shut down, there's no jury trials, firms are laying off attorneys, people's attention is focused on, the presidential race and COVID and all those dramas, relationship dramas and stuff. And what he suggested was that I, at least for some period of time, do something like self-empowerment for these challenging times, where I'd have people who were really, at home, stressed out, suicidal, financial problems, relationship issues, whatever, and that my work could help them with any of those issues.
Okay.
So what are your thoughts on that?
So here's what I think with that, and it's very similar to, there's a lot of different niches that are in the kind of the same boat.
Mm-hmm.
When you talk about stuff like that, it's almost like I have several people that are trying to sell happiness, and it's like, it's so undefined and ambiguous that the people on the other end, they may not see that as an issue or a valid valid thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to get like really specific and then offer a solution that resolves the problem. So you have to get kind of real specific on what the problem is that they're facing. Like, if they're out of a job, that's a very specific problem. That's a real hurdle that's in front of them, and they have to deal with it. Like, if they're in the courtroom situation and they're dealing with stress, that's a real tangible thing. They can see it, they can feel it. So you have to get really specific. The campaigns that I've seen that work are not ambiguous at all. They're very, very specific to a problem. So that's what I would do. And I know with yours, you probably cover a whole bunch of different things. The deal is, though, you're going to have to kind of segment it. You're going to have to break it down. And if you want to cover multiple things, the process all might be the same, but the way you lead them to the water is going to be very different.
Yeah, I see that.
So it's like pretend like you're in a setting, like in a social setting somewhere, and you sit down with somebody, you don't know them, and they start expressing a problem to you. How would you address it? And then think about another person expressing that same problem in a different way, and how would you address it? It's always going to be very different the way you address it, right?
Yes.
So that's the thing. If you address it the wrong way, you won't connect with the person, and that's where segmentation comes in, and that's what makes conversion, is that connection. If you don't connect right out of the gate with your marketing funnel, it's game over. You don't get another opportunity generally.
I like that. Connection creates conversion.
It absolutely does. It's the first piece. And if you miss the first piece, that's like being up at bat and you strike out. You don't even get a chance to get on base. So there's no chance of stealing second.
That's right. I can't run through the pitcher and go straight to second.
Yeah. If you can't get on first, you're not going to second. And that's really the thing. You are up at bat. You're going to take a swing, and make sure you're swinging at something that you can hit. That's like the best advice I could give you, on that. Yeah, Jim,
Yeah,
Jim,
consider
Jim,
that, see if there are. Yeah, no, that's great.
yeah, Jim here. He's a business coach, and I'm sure he gives that advice out all day long.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm. Great. Yeah.
So I have a question, John, and I'm sure you're familiar with this situation. I have a great client, a website redesign. We're all excited. We have the contract signed, the down payment's paid, and then I found out that their host has not done any updates for years. I successfully did updates yesterday because I got their WordPress login, but so it sounds like the relationship between them and their host and the person who promised to do the web redesign is not good. What's a tactful way for me to approach this situation with the old host? I think we need to transfer it as soon as possible. And the other question is, can you do a WordPress backup of the files and everything without having host access?
Yes, if it's a WordPress site, you can basically there's plugins like when we do that, we put plugins in to transfer all the files.
Yeah.
And it will pull pretty much everything out of their WordPress and bring it right over to the new hosting environment. The only thing it wouldn't do is like if they've got email, if they're hosting their email on there, it's not going to pull the email across. The email's a different can of worms. Like if they had a cPanel, we would need cPanel access to pull all their email across. But if it's just a WordPress site, that's pretty simple. All we would really need is the WordPress admin access, and we pulled a whole bunch of them across doing that.
Okay, well, I think the emails will be a separate beast, but I'll talk to them about doing a transfer.
Okay,
and then I can work with you and your team on that.
An easy way, like for email, if you don't want to mess with the host, like we've had situations where we've had clients that they don't know how to access anything. They don't even know like passwords. And, we had one lady that was with GoDaddy and she had this double authentication and she didn't know how to get into it, and they would not help her. GoDaddy would not help her at all. And I'm like,
oh God.
I spent hours on the phone between her and GoDaddy. And I'm like, you guys have got to be kidding me. This is your customer. And they said, no, it's double authentication. It's a third party. We have nothing to do with it. And I'm like, why in the hell would you offer something like that? I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
I
won't talk about GoDaddy. We share that sentiment.
Just thinking about it, it pisses me off all over again.
Sorry about that.
No, they were horrible. I could not believe it. Unreal. So, yeah, and the third party was Google, and Google wouldn't help her either. It was just
wow.
We wind up having to dump the domain and just register a new domain for her.
Wow.
I was like, I've never been in a situation where I just couldn't help somebody, couldn't unravel it. And there was nothing we could do. We went all the way up to wherever we could go and nothing. It's like, wow. Talk about not taking care of your people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the first thing I'll try is just politely talking to the host dude and see. I just wanted to kind of have a backup plan just in case.
Yeah. If it's just a WordPress site, that's easy. That stuff, we can pull it across, we can get it over, and then we can do a backup from our side. Like if say it's a redevelopment, we move it over first, we can back it up. So before we start doing changes, you have a current backup of the existing site.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's
I'll be putting that project into Basecamp soon.
okay. Yeah, that's an easy way to do it.
Got another one.
All right, good job. If any of you guys are doing web development now, it's the easiest game in town. It's like when I started in web development, God, it must have been 25 years ago. It was like shooting fish in a barrel, and all of a sudden it's like that again. It's like all these developers will kind of flush themselves out, and everybody wants their sites redesigned now because of the new standards. Like I've been doing site reviews now for the last 6 months, and almost every site I look at, they either have a security certificate issue, they're not responsive, they look like they were made in the 80s. It's like they're all like that. And they all know it too. They know they need to update it. They don't know where to go. And it literally it's easy pickings for business. If you want to, if that's something that you do, you should be taking full advantage of that right now. You should be prospecting like crazy. So that's like my grandma always said, you make hay while the sun shines. Well, the sun is shining right now. So pretty cool stuff. All right, other questions? I know a lot of you guys aren't probably up on the SEO stuff, but there's one thing I've talked about it a few times over the last couple months, but I wanted to make anybody that is doing SEO aware of this. Google does, without a doubt, have the capability of OCR, which is scanning images to see what's in them as far as text. So there's websites out there that will do graphics out of text. And like you've probably seen these where it makes a collage out of a bunch of words. It's like a word cloud. Well, Google can read that stuff. So when you're putting those images on your site, it actually helps as far as content. Because a lot of people don't want to create content, so you can make these word clouds, and then Google will see all those keywords. So anyway, just I won't belabor it, but for anybody that's doing that, that's a cool little trick to slide in.
So John?
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you saying put the word cloud actually on the website itself as an image?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
Like I was doing some research on a SEO company in Arizona, and they were ranking #1. Somebody was doing SEO in Arizona, and they're like, why can't I beat this guy? So I went and looked at it, and he was using that. He was using that and a few other things. And I'm like, this is really interesting. And then I poked around a little bit more, and I found multiple instances of #1 listings that had those word clouds on them. So
Interesting.
that's a pretty good indicator that they're packing a good punch. So anyway, that's the best way to learn SEO is by observation, looking at what's at the top and trying to backwards compatibly figure out why it's there. So, all right.
I've got a non-related question.
Okay, sure.
I am on SitePop looking at the reports.
Mm-hmm.
I see they go from, like, in this case, December to June. Is there a way to shorten the date? I know on Google Analytics, you can shorten your date, your graph to give you the actual time frame you're looking for. I was looking at 1 month.
Yeah, they unfortunately we don't have that built in. We're just pulling the historical data and then showing it on the chart. We just didn't put money into the development on that end of things to do that functionality. But you can do that through SEMrush. SEMrush has a thing where you can weed it down to a 1 month period. Another thing too, this is something on the reporting. If any of you guys are using SitePop, this might be a key thing for you. If you're looking at the reporting, a lot of people have said, hey, it's reporting first page, and then I go and it's not, the keyword's not on the first page. If you look at the report, it will show you what keyword is ranking for the first page. And in some cases, it's going to be the brand variation. Like if you use keywords that don't rank, what the software does is it tries to run the keyword generically first. If it doesn't rank, what it does, it bounces back to Google and it adds your brand into it. So it does rank, and then it clicks through from there. But when it grabs the report, it's grabbing the report for the branded keyword. So when you see the app and you see it's in the first position, that doesn't mean it's that keyword if you're not ranking for that keyword already. That's why I tell everybody, use traction keywords. If you use SEMrush or any other tool and use keywords you're already on the first, second, or third page for, then it will be much more accurate, because you'll actually see the rank for the actual keyword. If you're, there's a lot of guys that have unrealistic expectations in the SEO world. They'll grab a tool like SitePop, they'll put some ridiculous keywords in there and expect it to work like magic overnight, and it doesn't. There's no magic about the game. It's a very calculated game. So you got to do stuff that makes sense, and you have to manage the expectations of your clients when you're doing that. So that's something. Another thing too with the reports, I don't know if you've noticed this, but you can run a report that shows all of your keywords on one chart, and then down at the bottom it'll have the keywords individually, and when you roll over them, then it will highlight that within the chart, which is really kind of cool, so you don't have to bounce back and forth in between keywords to see the whole thing.
That's where I am actually.
Yeah, so that's a cool little feature.
Okay, so as I'm giving this report to a client, should I put in that comment about if some of these top pages are maybe with your brand, the keyword tied to the brand?
Yeah, if they question it, if they say, hey, it says number one and I'm not, and I looked and I'm not there, then you can address that.
Okay, he hasn't questioned it yet, but I expect he will eventually.
Yeah, because sometimes when they see number one, they want to go and they physically type it in, and then they get all excited when they see it. But when they don't see it, they're like, something's up here. So that is the answer to that question. You can see it in the, if you go into the reporting, you can actually see the keyword that's ranked, and you'll see that it's probably a brand variation. So,
yeah, a lot of them are.
Yeah, and that's what happens. Like I did a support ticket for somebody yesterday, and he was saying, help, I'm not ranking. And I looked at his site. His site was a one-page site with no contact us page, no on-page SEO, no links. And I'm like, dude, did you really expect this to rank? I'm like, what are you doing? Have you heard anything other than the term SEO? But yeah, there's a lot of people, they'll see a tool, they'll hear me talk about how great it is, and they like filter out all the information that I've given them, and they only hear the one thing, that it will rank fast. And that's not what I say. I say, well, rank fast if you've got traction on your keywords, if you've done all the rest of your SEO, if you've got your on page right, if you've got links coming in, if you've done all the foundational work and you add this on top, then yeah, it moves fast. But they throw all the rest of that out. They just expect the one thing to move fast. I'm like, no, that's like just one piece of the puzzle. You're missing a whole bunch of factors there. So it's one of the things that's always driven me crazy about SEO, is that nobody listens. They selectively listen and hear things. So, all right, who's up next here? Any?
A question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Uh,
Big Nick.
Do you have anybody that's, or are you doing it, building Kartra membership sites?
Yeah, we've got quite a few people. I've built many of them myself too.
I've got a client who has a fitness business, and he basically wants to follow your same model as far as your ACT program thing.
Okay. Sell the training and then the ongoing mentorship.
Yeah.
Okay.
I basically sold him on that, and he wants to do that, but I need to get a quote for a build and stuff like that, because I don't know what that would run. I told him he's going to have to buy Kartra for sure, so I'll give him my affiliate link.
Okay.
You'll get an affiliate piece too.
Yeah, I have. Did you want to build it yourself, or do you want to have somebody build it for you?
Didn't really care to particularly build it myself, but what would that run me?
Well, we need to get some parameters really to get you a quote on it. But Tammy, who's on here, I've been training her on the Kartra stuff, and she's pretty familiar with that stuff. We actually have a membership template, and then it's just a matter of configuring it, putting all the stuff into it. But
yeah, well, he says he's really good at video editing and making videos and stuff. So like,
okay.
Going to be providing all that content or whatever. And then I told him, it'd be good to, do your live call and all that good stuff. But and I threw out the price like $30 a month, like what you're doing already. So
yeah, it's a great model. It's really a good model for memberships. You will hear people that talk about selling lifetime memberships, and that makes me cringe every time I hear it.
Yeah.
It's based on a model that is not realistic for most people. The
Right.
model is based on a diet model, which if you're in the diet industry, it's flush with new people every month. And most industries don't have that going for them.
Right.
So, there's a company that did this, I think it was $49 a month for a lifetime membership to a diet blog or a diet thing, whatever it is. And they're making millions of dollars. But the thing is, they've got so many people coming in. There's like 4 big major events every year that flushes new prospects into the diet realm. It just jams them in, like New Year's resolutions. People go crazy. You've got graduation time. People go crazy because that's also reunion time. Anybody going to a high school reunion, that's one of the things that they focus on is how they look. You've got, summer bikini season. You've got all these different triggers throughout the year for people to want to lose weight. So you've got gazillions of new people every year to pour in there. Most people don't have those kind of factors. So doing a lifetime membership, you are, as soon as you make a sale, now you're starting over again. Your business model literally starts over again. And unless you've got a lot of upsells and a lot of other back-end products, it's a really hard business model to make a lot of money at. It really is. Like anything that you guys do, you should be looking at how do you do a recurring revenue model to it. Whatever you do, how do you serve that person over and over for the rest of their life? Whatever it is. And that way, every person that you bring in, every sale that you make, it increases your annual income. So every customer in the door adds to your overall bottom line. It's not just a one-shot flash in the pan. And if you think about it, there's all kinds of different industries. And if you get really creative, you can figure out how to do that. Like Shanta, she's in the travel industry. So how do you do it for that? You know, it's just a vacation, then you got to start over. Well, you could create a travel club, and you could get them paying over and over and over monthly to be in a travel club to get exclusive deals and things like that. You just have to think outside the box. If you're focused on the one thing that you sell and you're not thinking about anything else, you're probably losing a lot of opportunity. And membership sites are really, really good for that. I mean, I never really knew, because I'm not a guy that analyzes a bunch of stuff. I'm not like a bean counter. I am more of a bulldozer. You know, so I never look at my numbers. I just know, I know how to make money, and I can make any, you know, whatever I want. So I never worry about watching pennies. But when I took a look, it wasn't until I decided to move over to Kartra, I went into my membership site, my A member site, and I was looking at, okay, how many people here do I have to deal with in this move? And I was really kind of deciding whether it was going to make sense for me. And I went in, and I didn't even realize that they had these kind of stats in A member. But I found these stats of like lifetime value of a customer, how much the overall income from each different product was in there. I didn't even know that stuff existed. I wasn't looking at it. But when I saw the figure to how much had come in that membership site over a 10-year period, it just shocked me. It was a couple $1 million at $30 a month. I was like, holy shit, are you kidding me? So, you know, I mean, I knew it was good, but I didn't know it was that good. So, you know, that is something that you should really consider in whatever business that you're in, is how do you turn it into a recurring model, or how do you attach a recurring model to it? You know, like even web design is one thing. It's a one-shot deal for most cases. But then if you're doing it right, then you attach it to a hosting account, and now you've got monthly income forever. I've got a lot of clients that they don't want to do their edits. They don't want to have anything to do with it. They want to just have it all done. So for those clients, we offer a thing called Webmaster Services. And with Webmaster Services, they pay, instead of paying, you know, $20 or $30 a month for their hosting, they pay $99 a month for their hosting. And it includes any edits they want throughout the year. So it just covers them for whatever they need. And I've got a lot of people that pay the extra, and most of them don't use it. Most of them, like once a year, they'll have me change a few things. So it's a very lucrative add-on. And that's what you want to look at, is how can you create a lucrative add-on that adds a tremendous amount of value, and you can either outsource it where it takes zero amount of your time, or it takes a very small amount of your time. Either one. Those are like in the ACT program, when we're doing the freedom formula and I'm talking about how I look at business, that's what I look for. I look for the easy stuff. I look for what can I add in that's going to create really big value for the client and make me a good profit margin with the least amount of effort on my part. And, you know, so I'm looking for stuff that's easy for me to outsource. Like hosting is easy for me to outsource. I put it on a computer. The computer does the work. I pay the hosting bill and the computer does the work. You know, that's like a dream come true right there. Virtual real estate. When I first started online, that was what I did. I started a hosting company. And within I think it was like 2 or 3 years, I had enough hosting business that I didn't have to work anymore. There was literally enough coming in. I told my wife, I said, you know, we're going to make the same amount of money if we're here versus being on a cruise ship, because the money's just going to come in. So that year, I think we spent like 5 weeks on cruise ships. It was really cool. We got sick of cruising. But that's what you want to try and focus on is recurring revenue. Recurring revenue is where it's at.
So just to give a little bit more background, this guy's like a personal trainer and like health coach kind of guy, but he's training like boxing and Muay Thai and like general fitness, and then also like food, nutrition intake. So I suggested that he have a membership site for each, and then a bundled all-in-one membership site. So this could be like multiple membership sites all built into one under the same basic theme. So after the first one gets done, I imagine you just copy and paste and edit the material. So lucrative. But I told him, you know, hey, let's get some base level material that we can throw up to start the membership thing, you know, and then also, you know, you can charge your initial membership thing, you know, whether it's like a $297 fee or a $397 fee or something like that. Even if you waive it, go, hey, the site's new, I'm waiving the fee, then they still feel like they got the value and they're less likely to cancel.
Yeah, yeah. So in Kartra specifically, there's a really cool way to do that. They have a thing called access levels. So you can create one membership and you can have multiple access levels to it. So you could have like you could have the fitness training, you could have the martial arts training, and you could have the dietary training. And that would be 3 different levels. So you might have 3 tabs up at the top, and under each tab, it would roll out all the contents, all the different lessons for that. And then if they didn't have access to that, when they clicked on it, it would prompt them to buy access to that level, which is really cool. And then depending on what level they buy, those tabs open up and give them access automatically, which is, I mean, really, really phenomenal. And I think you can have up to 4 levels of access in a membership in Kartra. So like for me, I've got my ACT level, my normal ACT level, and then I've got a level that I call my reseller level, that are people that are reselling my services. So I have an additional tab in there that gives them access to all my specials that I have for resellers. And then I've got my apprentice tab. So there's 3 different levels in there. So depending on what they've purchased, they get access to the right material. The other people, the thing you can do too is you can allow other people to either see it or not see it. Like if you don't want people to know there's other levels, you just hide the tab, and when they log in, they just see what they have access to. Now, in my opinion, I think that's a lost opportunity, because if you show them the tabs and then they click on them and they see they don't have access, they didn't pay for that level, and it gives them an opportunity to upgrade, I see that as just pure opportunity. So
yeah, because that's a fish on the line that all you have to reel in.
Yeah, exactly. So when I configure those, when I've configured mine, all the levels that they don't have access to, I have it pop up a window that just says, you know, this is a different program level. If you'd like to, if you'd like to increase your membership or you add this level, you know, here's the sales page, and it just has a link to the sales page where they can buy it and upgrade. So we've had a number of people. And another thing too, I rarely push my apprentice program, because it's generally always full. I only work with 8 people at a time. And when somebody drops out, there's usually a couple of people already waiting to get in. So I never really push it, because I don't want to take more than 8 people. But I have the apprentice tab in there, and I've had a lot of people that are going through the ACT program and they ask about it. And then I tell them about it, and I tell them, well, you know, it's not really open right now because it's full. But they're like, okay, well, tell me when I can get in. So it's you know, it's basically kept my apprentice program booked for the last couple of years just by doing that. Because, you know, I've never done a webinar on it. I've never done like a promo. I think there's only been a couple of times when I actually sent an email out that said, hey, there's an opening, when, you know, the people that were on the edge, they decided not to go in. So I opened it up to the group. So it's been a pretty cool thing. You know, it's very limited. So it doesn't take a lot to sell eight things. So. All right, who's up next? Allie, go ahead.
So I have two questions. One is, I am wanting to build my art website. It's kind of on a front burner, not a back burner, but not an active thing. But I wanted to know, like, could you do this for me, John? Because I don't know. I've been told to use some of the art, like Art Finder and all that, but I still need a personal page, because when people, like on LinkedIn, I've had my own sites up before, and I just don't like the way the site looks right now. It was a perfect description for what you were talking about. It doesn't look good.
Looks
So
like it's from the 80s.
yeah, and you know, and of course I paid a pretty fair amount of money to do that when I was in New York and doing art exclusively. So I want to be able to create a site that's, you know, like I have a friend that has a site, and I kind of like her site, and because I've been looking at different artist sites, and then I want to be able to link it to, if I do enroll in some of these online art store programs, I want to be able to link it to my like number or whatever.
Oh,
and
that's not a problem.
Yeah, and so I'd rather work with you, because I know and love you and trust you, of course, and I don't know how that would occur.
Yeah, that's not a problem. Really, with websites, the biggest thing people ask is, how long does it take? And it takes us about a week, depending on how fast we can get the material.
Oh,
and
the content.
Yeah, the content, and how fast we can get approvals on things. So like generally we can have a design done within 48 hours. If the design's approved as is, then we can go right into construction. If we've got access to all the content, we can literally have it done, you know, by the end of the week.
If my previous designer, is there a way to get all of that information shifted over to you? Because they have photos and, I mean, you know, hundreds of pieces of artwork that, you know what I mean? Like, is there a way to do that, or?
Is it on a website or?
Yes, it was. I don't know if it's still actively hosted. Like, if you don't actively host it, do you lose everything, or does it sit in some place in the cloud waiting, or?
It depends on the hosts. A lot of hosts, like as soon as you stop paying them, they just dump it. So I wouldn't depend on it if it's not up on a website and they didn't back it up or something and keep a local backup. I wouldn't depend on it being accessible.
Okay.
So
then how would the reason I ask this is because with art, you have the picture and then you have the title, media, size, you know, whatever, like a small description with everything. So I can't remember how we did it, where
are you gonna have the art like for sale or just for show? Yeah,
for sale.
Okay. So in WordPress, there's a free module called WooCommerce that's basically turns the WordPress website into a shopping cart. And
Woo, W-O-O?
Yes, W-O-O. And what you can do, you could have each piece of art, like you have the image and then they click on it and then it would go to the detail page that has the image. It could have more images of the art piece, and then it can have a full description, a price, a buy now button, you know, all of that stuff, all of that functionality. So just like a regular shopping cart. You could actually do it in Kartra as well if you wanted to do it that way. Kartra is great for selling single products. It's great for selling digital products, all that. Are you going to sell the artwork digitally or ship it?
Well, ideally I could do reproduction. That is one of the questions where I don't know how to create, like I need the reproducer and then me and then you.
Yeah, because there's another way. I'd have to find out what the website is, but there's a site that it's for artists and photographers, and you can upload your original art, and then it has a shopping cart functionality, and they take, like, if a customer comes onto the site and they want to buy a piece of artwork and they want it in a certain size on a canvas or on a metal sheet,
right,
and they print it, they deliver it, and then they just pay you the commission fee. So that might be another alternative for you if you wanted to, like, get out of the fulfillment end of it.
Yeah.
And just put the stuff up and just make money off of it. My nephew actually does that. He's in the Army, and he's been traveling all over the world, and he's taken his photography lessons, and he's been shooting these, you know, phenomenal photos all over the world, and he loads them up on this site, and people are going on there and buying them. And they've got a really cool thing where they can transfer it onto a piece of metal, and it's not like a photograph. It's kind of a weird deal, but people love them. They're really cool.
Yeah, I think you know, when you're Googling all these things, I think I clicked on that once and I saw that they, you know, they can print on anything. It's pretty wood, metal, cups, paper, whatever. And of course, canvas and paper and whatever. So maybe we could have a conversation, because there's that I would like to get going. And then I don't know, as you guys may all know, my plan B for residual income right now is, you know, two things. One, I'm having trouble with your affiliate program. It keeps bumping me, saying I'm blocking me. Anyway, so I need to figure that out with you, but I have a lot of people that I have to figure out how to recommend you. But I also use and love Melaleuca products. I'm very passionate about helping people have really good, safe products and helping the planet stay, you know, vibrant. And I was wondering, but Melaleuca is very, very anti-spam. Like, they have strict social media rules, and they don't ever want to be, you know, that company that you see, you know, nonstop ads on landing on my people's pages and all that. And I don't want to do that either. It's very personal and word of mouth.
When you're doing a thing like an MLM, like the Melaleuca is an MLM operation.
No, it's actually not an MLM. It's direct sales. It's kind of like enrolling in Costco online. It's an online shopping store. And then that's really what it is. So and they don't actually like being included in the MLM market, because that's such a it has such a bad reputation. Anyway, because people get hurt, people have built businesses and they just shut them down. Melaleuca is that has 2 factories in America, and they manufacture here, and so they're here to stay, and they've been here for 35 years, and they, you know, American-made products, lots of great stuff. But anyway, I wanted to know, is there a way to use Kartra? If I have a Kartra account, can I use it for my art? And Melaleuca, like, can you multi-purpose use it?
Oh yeah, yeah. You can once you have a Kartra account, you can make all the different funnels that you want. You can have different databases Like you could create a database for your art clientele. You could create another database for your Melaleuca clientele. You could create another database for, you know, anything else that you want to do. And so
Right.
when you're running a business like that, whether it's a distributor, like they're probably packaging it as a distributor model. And so whether
They make the products and then you get them right to your door. So it's not like, they're not like retailers where they buy it in China and then bring it over here or have it made in China. You know, it's not like Procter and Gamble where everything's outsourced.
are you buying it directly and then you're selling it directly to other people?
No, everybody, all I do is introduce people and then they watch a little overview. And if it makes sense, they open up their own shopping account.
Okay.
And it's like you're saying,
Yeah, they call that a distributor model.
oh, okay.
So
Sorry.
that's basically what it is. So they open an account and you're the affiliate and you get paid on whatever they purchase. So
Right. It's kind of like
any-
recommending you. I tell people and then I would make the connection. And if they
Yeah.
get it, they work with you.
Yeah. So in any case, no matter what you're doing, whether it's an affiliate or an MLM or a distributor or any of those models, what you want to do is you don't want to do it the way they usually promote it. They promote it where you send all of your leads and everything over to them and then they do everything. What you want to do is if you're in the Melaleuca market, if that's what you want to send them to make your money, what you want to do is you want to become a leader in that industry and you want to attract people to you and then recommend that they use the Melaleuca product. So you don't want to just, you don't want to just be a pass-through agent. You want to create credibility and you want to create a following that's following you, and then you make the referral. Regardless of what industry you're in, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're in health or travel or diet or business or whatever. It doesn't matter. There's a ton of these type of models out there. They're all good. They all make money. But what you want to do is you want to create a following. So you have your following. And, they're following Allie and they love Allie. And whatever Allie recommends, they're going to take a look at. So the difference is if you just pass them through, you're not collecting databases, you're not collecting emails, you're not building your own business, you're building someone else's business. And it gives you very limited opportunity. Like if you create your own database, your own list, your own following, and then all of a sudden you meet me and you think that, hey, this is great. This is what I'm doing. Because this is one thing. When you create a following, a lot of your following will want to do what you're doing. Mm-hmm. It's just by nature. They're going to want to do whatever you're doing. Like Shantha's in the travel stuff. And, when she does a cruise, people are going to want to cruise with her because she knows what she's doing. They know she goes to cool places. They want to go to cool places too. And who better to go with than her, right? Mm-hmm. So whatever industry you're in, you want to position yourself as the leader, create your following, get them to fall in love with you by providing value outside of just pushing product.
So it's kind of like, I understand what you're saying. I just, how would I start that? How would I begin to create my own following?
Well, you look at what
like as Allie.
Yeah, you look at the market, and whatever the market is, you position yourself to add value to people that are in that market. And when I say value, I'm not talking about pushing them right away to product. I'm talking about, looking at the timeline. If you look at the ACT program, it all relates to the ACT program. Look at the timeline. Where are these people on the timeline? What's their problem? What are they facing? What's on the other end of the timeline? What's their desired outcome? when you can have a person that has a problem and a desired outcome, and you can fill the middle piece, that's a perfect opportunity to build a following. So rather than just push them to the end game without creating credibility and all that, you could offer to give them free stuff, you know, the lead magnets. Help them understand their problem. Help them understand how you can provide the perfect solution for them. You know, just create a relationship. It's all about relationships. You know, and then when you create a relationship and you give them something good, they're going to look to you for the next thing. They're like, "Oh, that was great, Allie. You know, what else can I do?" You know, and you become the leader. So that's the way to do it. You know, and then you ultimately become an influencer, and then other people will start approaching you with amazing opportunities that you never knew existed because you're an influencer. So that's really the name of the game, is to become an influencer in any given market, and opportunities will open up to you. So like the whole Be Connected thing, you guys probably saw me send that email out about Be Connected. Because I'm an influencer, I was asked very early on by the people that were putting that together to promote it. And when I signed up for it about probably 2.5 months ago. And they were pushing me to promote it right away. And I'm like, nah, I don't do that. I always try the stuff first. I need to know, you know, I don't need the money, so it's not worth it to me to just push stuff on my audience. I don't do that. So the thing that really grabbed my eye with it was the fact that they had the Zoom account. You know, that was one of their big perks, was they would give a Zoom account to anybody that got in, whether they stayed in or not. And the Zoom account was for a 500 seat webinar license for under $10 a month, $9.95 a month. And I'm like, holy shit, how do you do that? You know, because I know I was paying $15 a month for the regular Zoom, and I was paying $40 a month for the Zoom webinar, only for a 100 seat license. So here I'm paying $55 a month, and they're offering the exact same thing for 10. And I'm like, you know, that's something that I can get behind, but I didn't really believe it. I'm like, all right, I got to see this. You know, I think somehow this doesn't add up. So I signed up, and I got the Zoom account, and everything they told me was true. They took my existing Zoom account, they just upgraded it, they took over the billing, and it was Zoom, and it was the 500 seat license, which a 500 seat Zoom webinar license is like $300 a month. And here I'm getting the whole enchilada for $10. I'm like, all right, I think I can get behind promoting that. I think a lot of people would be interested in signing up for that, even if they didn't even want the Be Connected thing, just to get the gateway to get the Zoom for that price. So that made a lot of sense to me to go ahead and open that up and say, okay, guys, here's the deal. You know, even if you don't want the Be Connected thing, and it costs you $299 to get access to their Zoom, that's worth it. That's a really good deal. Now, I've been more involved. They're going to have me speak on Saturday, and I'm trying to work on being one of their trainers. And they're going to have me speak on Saturday to the affiliates, and you know, share some information with the affiliates that are promoting it. And it was really interesting. These guys have some serious traction right now, because when I signed up, I was like, I think I was like number 68 or something in their hierarchy. And when I started promoting, when I sent the email out to you guys and people started signing up, I was looking at the numbers. The first one that I signed up was like 10,000 and something. So over the last 2 months, they've put 10,000 people into this. It's like, wow. That is pretty awesome. So the program itself isn't even ready. They don't plan on really launching the Be Connected platform until July. And I've got an opportunity to play with it because I'm in that initial group. So I've been able to play with it and see what it's all about. And it looks like it's going to be the answer to LinkedIn. Because I don't know if any of you guys are in LinkedIn, it's just a big spam pot now. You sign up and you start getting, all these connections from people that just want to sell you garbage. And I get about 30 a day, LinkedIn connections and people wanting to sell me, junk links. And it's like, come on, guys, really? It's more of a nuisance, than anything. And with this platform, it's going to be more like a dating platform where it's built on an algorithm of how it connects people. So you're not able to just go in and just connect with a bunch of people and spam them. Whenever you connect with someone, it gives them a connection invite, and you actually have to meet them either on Zoom or in person or whatever, and then you rate that person, and you're rating them based upon the experience. So if you get somebody that, wants to connect just to spam you or something that's not a good experience, you give them a bad rating, and then their ability to connect to people is going to be diminished. So eventually they'll just get kicked out. If you have a really good rating, then the connection device is going to automatically connect you to like-minded people and recommend that, hey, here's a good match for you, just like a dating app. So it's a really interesting platform. I hope that it takes off, and I hope that it really goes. And the other thing about it, in the launch, this is one thing I put out there for all of you guys. All you have to do is get 2 people into it, and then you get the thing for free for life. So it's not that hard to get 2 people, interested in something like that. So 2 people in and you get your membership paid for life. That's pretty cool, because it's going to be a fairly expensive platform. At $2.99 a month, I don't know. That to me, in my opinion, that's too much. LinkedIn has their premium membership for like $59 a month, and it's again, apples to apples, it's not as good, but I think they're going to have trouble getting people to pay $2.99 a month. That's probably why they're doing the free thing, and that's probably how they've got 10,000 members already so quickly. So
yeah. You need members to be able to interact.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a good model.
I do believe it's a very good model. I just signed up yesterday with Tammy.
Yeah.
So if somebody's interested, please let us know, because I truly believe this is gonna go well. It sounds like they're giving solutions for all these new industry of public speakers, influencers, writers, all these coaches, mentors. So I think it's a very good platform that will be very helpful for all of us.
Yeah.
So if you're interested, let us know, because I need 2 people.
Yeah, and the 2 people get you lifetime access for free. So it gets you a lifetime membership to the platform for free. The other thing about it, if you get 5 people in and you're one of the first 500 people to do that, they give you a special qualification that you're I think they call it a qualified founding affiliate. And that gives you higher affiliate commissions throughout everything. And it's going to be pretty prestigious to be a founding member of something like this, if this thing takes off like LinkedIn did.
Hey, John. Do you know where they are in that number?
I think I was number 14 out of the 500.
Okay.
And I found that out just last night. So they still have room. I don't think they'll probably hit that for, I don't know, I'd say you might have a month before they hit that. But I don't know. At the rate they're going, they might hit it quicker.
Hey, John. Good morning.
Hey, Mr. Chris, how's it going?
Oh, living the dream, babe, and enjoying the gloom before summer hits.
Yeah, we finally got the June gloom, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Hey, I have a question for you. I believe everything you say, and so I looked into the offer that we're talking about now with Be Connected,
Yeah.
and I didn't. And me being a stickler for the kind of the fine print, I didn't see anywhere it mentioned the feature of the 500 seat license. It does say, like social platform, access. And then in addition to that, there were when it came time, but I kept going and when it came time to sign up, it said, I agree to the terms and service. And I clicked on the terms of service and it's about 8 pages of very small text. So I'm just checking, me signing up for something that specifically doesn't say what I'm getting. And
I had the exact same thing, and that's why I didn't tell anybody about it until I found out it was actually true. And here's something I also found out. When I actually got to talk to the people that are putting it together. And I asked them, I said, all right, I got to know, how are you pulling this thing off with Zoom? I mean, that's like black magic to me, and I'm into black magic. I got to know how you're doing that. And what they told me was they had bought an exclusive licensing agreement to resell Zoom, which I didn't even know was available. I went to the Zoom website and I saw that that is available. And I immediately reached out to Zoom to figure out how I could do it. And what I found out was Zoom had given away a handful of those and they closed the opportunity to the US. So I said, okay, how do I get one in Mexico? Because we're doing a Spanish launch. And there was just a lot of red tape to it. I just kept trying and pushing every angle I could get because I wanted one of those licenses. I'm like, that would change the game for me. So I finally got access to it. So I'm going to have that too.
Wow.
Yeah, I pushed really, really hard. And there's a couple of changes with it. Zoom will not allow the reseller to say that. They will not allow them to publicly say what it is. So that's why it's kind of hidden. So the Be Connected people are relying on us, the influencers, to tell people what they're getting. They can't publicly do it on their site. So that's why you're not seeing it there.
Can I wanted to just make a little comment. I signed up at the end of last week, and I did email John and I said, this doesn't say it's Zoom. Is it Zoom-ish, Zoom-like, or is it Zoom? And he said it's the real deal. So I signed up and I'm already using my Zoom platform, and it already shows I can have both meetings and webinars. But also I found at the bottom, so when I give people my link, they have to hit the join now, and at that page, at the very bottom of the page, because I wanted to see this promise somewhere, it says that if you can cancel at any time and still retain your benefits. It doesn't say Zoom, of course. It says they have some travel benefits and your it's called Working Live, I think, or something like that. Yes. Platform, but that you can keep those benefits. And someone else that signed up with me, my other person that signed up, called and they said, yes, you can cancel at any time. You just cannot ask for a refund of what you already paid. Then you're not keeping stuff because you're not going to have it for free, right? So, but at the bottom of that page, when you give your join link or you go to someone else's, at the join now, you have to click first on join now, and you can go to the bottom of that page to see that. And I took a little screenshot about that because
yeah, and I've heard this from the top people. They say they've confirmed it, that if you buy in for the $2.99, you get the Zoom. If you don't want the $2.99, you can immediately cancel the recurring, so you're never charged that again, and you can keep the Zoom for the $9.95.
But you do have to sign up for the Working Live in addition, because they're not going to force you to switch over your Zoom account. So you have to do that. And I already worked with Olivia. She signed up, but she wants to save, just to be sure, right, any recordings that she has in the Zoom cloud. So she's working on saving those. And then what you'll do is they'll send you a confirmation, and then Zoom will send you a confirmation that says, do you really want to activate? Because it converts what you have now to the enterprise edition, and you become a member instead of like an independent person paying. So you're in total control. It's not going to switch over until you click on that link.
So if I understand correctly, it's so the process for me would be to take $299, sign up for the program, and then when I do sign up for Be Connected, I would have a separate sign up. Now I don't have a paid Zoom account at this time, so I would sign up for the Zoom benefit. It would be revealed, and I would sign up at that time. Yep. And I would get the enterprise then. And my other question is, well, what if I, within 20 days or within the 30 days, if I cancel after paying the $299, who will I continue to pay for the $10 a month for the Zoom?
It's called Working. It's called Working Live. Working Live is the conduit to the Zoom. So Working Live is a different thing than the Be Connected.
Yeah, but it's from Be Connected. It's there.
All right. So when I sign up I pay $299, I sign up, and I will receive information about, I'm sorry, what was the name of that program? Being Live or Staying?
Working Live.
I'm sorry?
Working Live.
Yeah.
But
So
they're not going to send you information on how to do it. It's just on the left side on the Be Connected back office, there are different little, I'd say tabs, but they're at the side, not on the top. And one of them says benefits. And then if you click on benefits, it says Working Live, and that's where you go to sign up. So it's right there within.
Okay. And so I just go to get a membership in Be Connected. I'd go to the benefits tab. I'd sign up for Working Live, and it's through Working Live that I would get to the surprise. You have Zoom capability, and if I stay in the $299, I'm assuming it's included. But if I cancel, I would still retain the Zoom membership, the enterprise membership, for like $10 a month. Who would I be paying that to?
It's not included in the Be Connected. It's an addition. They give you access to get that through them.
Got it. As a benefit.
So when you sign up, you're signing up with Be Connected for the $299, and then they give you access to sign up for the Zoom if you want it for the $9.99.
And I was also using the free Zoom, and so I went ahead. So they ask you when you sign up for Working Live, what email do you use now to sign into Zoom? And so then later, if you sign up for that, when Zoom sends you that email, they're actually converting your free account or paid account or whatever you already have to the other account.
Here's a question. If I wanted to sign up for Zoom, but under a different name, under a brand name, I could just say, I don't have an account, and I could just start fresh.
Yes, I believe so. But if not, all you have to do is just create a Zoom account, create a free Zoom account, because they ask you what email address you're using for your Zoom, and then that's what they convert for you.
Oh, okay. So I would go into Zoom first, create my brand name account, and then do it that way. Okay.
Yep. Now here's another thing I just found out last night, and this is not from Working Live. I heard it from them also, but this is a thing that is forced by Zoom. Zoom is no longer going to allow them to sell it for $9.95 after July 1st. If you get in before July 1st, you'll get the $9.95 and you'll get to keep it.
We have to hurry for other people then.
But it's not that bad. It's not moving up like dramatically. It's going from $9.95 to $12.95, which is still, it's a phenomenal deal. But the $9.95 was something that Zoom gave out and regretted. So they've kind of said, okay, let's up the ante a little bit, because think about it, they're setting up millions of these accounts, and a few dollars, that's a few $1 million a month for them.
Hey John, I have a follow-up question. If I was going to sign up on Zoom instead of a brand, because the brand might change, or I might use it for different brands, I guess I would just sign it under I can just go to Zoom and sign it under my own name then.
Yeah, in Zoom, it doesn't really matter how you sign up. You have the ability to brand any Zoom account. They have a branding tab. You can put whatever logo and company name and all that. So it's not like you set up a brand account. You're setting up an account under a name and an email address.
Okay.
And then you brand that account.
Got it.
So it looks like I'm going to have mine. It looks like I'm going to have mine sometime in July, where I will also be able to do it. And I'm thinking about bundling it as a retention thing for the ACT program. So.
Yeah, that's John. I'm a little confused by all this. I'm doing my best to follow. The Be Connected is going to be like a business dating website algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yeah.
you know, the experience of people interacting, they'll rate you. And then as you get a better rating, you get exposed to more businesses and you can create more internet networking connections.
Correct.
And that's $2.99 a month right now.
Yes.
And if you get 2 people, you get that for free for your life.
Correct. You have to pay the $2.99 once to get in, but then if you get 2 people, they're not going to start the billing, like the recurring billing. They told me they're not going to restart the recurring billing until after the program actually launches, which is going to be in July. So you've got a little bit of a runway here to get 2 people. But once they start that, once the billing clock starts, that $2.99 will cover your first 30 days of the platform. So as long as you get 2 people in before you get to the rebill, then you ride for free forever. And it's not that hard really to get a couple of people in for a Zoom account at $9.95 a month.
I just figure I like I said, I've been using the free Zoom, and I've told people, don't pay if you can get 100 seats. Why would you pay? Because it goes up pretty quickly. But at this point, if anybody offered me from Zoom, if Zoom said, if you do a buy-in of $300 and pay us $10 a month and you can keep that forever, I would pay Zoom just for that without the social connection of Be Connected. So that's how I'm approaching, anyone that I talk to about it, because I can cancel it. I don't want to have to cancel it. I want to have that social connection website. But let's say I hadn't gotten my 2 people. To me, that $300 was worth the buy-in for the Zoom.
Right. What
That's
happens?
Exactly how I looked at it too. When I looked at it to begin with, my intention wasn't to try and resell the Be Connected. My intention right out of the gate was, okay, I'm gonna like Tammy said, I'm just gonna pay the $300. I'm gonna get the Zoom, and I'll cancel it. But then after I got in and started looking around, I'm like, well, really, if this thing takes off, to have a lifetime membership for $300, it's pretty easy to get 2 people. That's why I decided to announce it and let you guys know about it.
So what happens after it? Let's just say, because of life, and it's already, I don't know, what day is it? It's the 18th of June. So we have like a week and a half, whatever. Let's just say you don't get the 2 people and they're launching July 1st, John, the reoccurring.
It's not, it's whatever time they launch, then I believe that's 30 days from there is your recurring.
So what happens if you don't get the 2 people, and then what happens? I get that you get charged, but
you could decide to cancel before it rebills, and then you're never going to get charged again for the $2.99 thing.
But if you're still trying to get 2 people, you would just get charged, and can you still enroll 2 and then it kicks in other words, or is that just the pre-offer?
It is the pre-offer, but they're going to go beyond the launch. I don't know how long they're going to go with that. But I would say they had specific numbers in mind, like when they're going to cut that off. But I think you've got plenty of time to do that.
And then if you're going to do, you just said you got it going with you, and you're going to add it as an incentive to ACT. How would we skip the whole Be Connected thing and work with you?
I haven't really decided what I'm going to do with it or how I'm going to integrate it yet, but it probably wouldn't be until August when I get that really fully integrated. And I won't be able to do the $9.95 thing. I'll be able to do the $12.99 or $12.95, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
But you know that that does bring up a question. It's kind of like a bird in the hand versus two in the bush. You know, if we wait until August, you know, to go with you, it would be, you know, the $12.99 or whatever. But in case something goes wrong or doesn't come through, you know, or you or
there's always that too.
Yeah.
Well,
so
the thing too, I mean, the way I look at it, it really is easy to get two people to get in, and to have access to something like this for life, that's an opportunity. Like if you look at everyone else is going to be paying $300 a month for this thing or whatever it winds up being, and you get to ride for free, that's a pretty cool deal. Like a lot of people are really jealous of me because I only pay $49 a month for SEMrush. And it was because I was in the front end. I was in the beginning when they locked that in for life. So, you know, when you can get opportunities like that, they're worth grabbing. You know, I even looked at it like, this is another way I looked at it was, okay, I bought mine for $2.99, so I'm in for $300. What if I didn't want to get somebody else? What if I just wanted to buy the lifetime thing? All I'd have to do is just buy 2 other memberships and I'm in for another $600. Now I have a life for $900. You know, if you can't get, you know, 2 other ones, or, you know, and if you're going to do that, you know, you could gift the money to someone else and let them have it and say, hey, you know, if you get 2 people, then you get it for free. I'll pay your first one. You get 2 more. And when you do that, you're actually making a commission off of the people they bring in too. So you're going to make some of your money back. So, you know, it's.
So quick question. Even if your members cancel, you still retain your lifetime, even if they cancel after the first month?
Correct.
Interesting.
Yeah, as long as they buy in to give it a try, you get 2. You don't have to retain 2. You just have to get 2. Because once you got the lifetime, you got it.
That's a new and interesting angle.
Yeah.
So say more about how you still get the reoccurring off of that. You're so brilliant. My head melts. Holy cow. Oh, Jesus. I just want to like be the fly on your shoulder.
Always looking for opportunities.
Yeah, I got to start that mantra. Holy cow.
The difference is, like, I am able to identify what an actual opportunity is now.
Right.
For a long time, I chased everything and you never get anywhere.
Right.
You know, most of them just waste your time. So I've just gotten really good at identifying actual real opportunities. Like, you know, one of the things when I do the live act training and I'm doing that first section of it, and we're talking about, is your dream really a dream, or is it possibly a nightmare? You know, because that's a reality for a lot of people. You know, they think they've got this dream, and I look at it and I'm like, you might want to pick a new dream. You know?
Right. I'm considering that with art.
But seriously, like every morning when I get up every morning, I know there's going to be 2 or 3 opportunities fall at my feet that day.
Wow.
And out of the 2 or 3, probably 2 or 3 out of 100 are actually worth me considering. And out of those, maybe 1 in 20 is something I'll actually do. So I've just gotten really good at looking at them at a glance now. I know if it's a real opportunity or not. And
So
I'm
how,
looking
if I'm thinking about I'm thinking about a few people that could do this, but is there a way to get them? Can I enroll you in doing a Zoom? Because I wouldn't begin to know how to explain all this effectively.
Yeah, and they have a lot of that stuff already as well too. So, but yeah, I can help you with that if you want.
Because I'm thinking about several people that have good businesses already rolling, and just to have the Zoom
Yeah,
maybe the key. Plus a few of them, maybe being connected would also be an attractive thing as well. I don't know.
in fact, a lot of times I've had this happen to me multiple times over the last 20 or 30 years. Is somebody will be telling me about an opportunity that they don't really even understand. And this was one of those.
Right.
When they were telling me about this, trying to get me on board with it, they didn't really get what they had going on. And, the biggest one of those I can give you as an example was, this is probably 20 or so years ago. I was at the LA Convention Center at an internet conference, which this was when the whole internet marketing thing was pretty early on. And I was looking for hosting server solutions. That's why I was there. And I came across this company called Neva. And I'm looking at it. They had a big booth. They had a lot of salespeople. They had all these monitors, and it was a very impressive booth. So I go in and I'm looking at it. And I'm like, okay, tell me about this. What is this? What's Neva? And I had 3 salespeople that couldn't explain it to save their life. And I'm like, just put me on the terminal. Let me play with it. Let me see what it is. And when I did, I'm like, holy shit, do you guys know what you have here? They had no idea. It was a commerce platform to create a shopping mall. And they had no idea. They were like promoting it as something totally different. And I'm like, that's what this is. I don't know if you guys knew when you were building it, but I took that thing and I made a shitload of money with it. And I actually helped them package it to sell it for what I was using it for. And, the program is still around today. They got really greedy. I don't use it anymore just because of the company greed behind it. But they screwed a lot of people. They got a lot of hosting companies like myself to build them into a massive empire, and then they hosed us all. They basically took our rights out from under us and retook it. And anybody that wanted to host had to host through them. And I'm like, yeah, that's just not cool. We built this company for you. And so I don't use them anymore. But it was just an example of somebody that had a tiger by the tail and had no idea of it. And, this might be that case. Like a LinkedIn. Look at how big LinkedIn is. And the idea behind LinkedIn has kind of gotten lost because it's just open to garbage. There's no filtration. So this is like a filtered LinkedIn. So it might come out a real winner. I don't know. I'm hoping.
I don't understand what I guess flushing out when you, like I myself, obviously, I don't even have a website up yet. So like when you interact with people, that for me makes me worried, but it's like, how did like you could interact with somebody, you have so much credibility and your business is up and running, but so do you need, like, that's where for me, it's a red flag because I don't have anything. Most of my businesses in terms of art is word of mouth, and like corporations that I've worked for, they'll say they want something, but it's always just.
Most people don't work with me from my credibility. Most people work with me for opportunity.
Oh.
If I had to rely on my credibility, I was talking about this the other day. I'm like, I have no degree in education. I'm like, I've never been asked what my education level is. I've never been asked for credentials. They just see what I can do for them and they want it.
Yeah, well, they don't ask Michelangelo for credentials either.
Yeah, exactly. They see the work, they see what you can do for them. So I don't really believe people work with me because of my credibility. I think they work with me because of my capability. So I don't see that as being a real, downside. As long as you come across capable and you display that you can solve a problem for someone, and you can deliver on your promise and you do what you say, and they see that, I think that's a much bigger tool than credibility. That is your credibility. And it's one-on-one. You build that one piece at a time. So you've got to do what you say, you got to back it up, you got to, got to walk the walk.
Mm-hmm.
So Teresa, you said something like, let me unmute you there. I didn't hear you.
No, I said you got to walk the walk and talk the talk.
Talk the talk. Yep. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah. Like, Teresa's been working with web developers, and she asked me, she goes, how long does it take to build a site? I'm like, oh, I can have you design up and, within a couple of days. And did I have one?
2 years I was working with those other people.
Yeah.
And it was still not live.
Oh God.
Yeah. So,
Oh.
but that's where you get business, like, I'm sure when we're done, I'm sure Teresa will refer me to someone that is
no kidding.
Because she probably knows people that has the same problem she had. And if they had a solution, they would have told each other about it.
Well, maybe and maybe not. I'm in a very competitive business.
Well, yeah, I mean, you might not tell your competitors, but if you knew other people, which...
I'm sorry?
I said, what's your business?
I do tax sensitive personal financial advisory work.
Oh.
Yeah, so I run a family office. So when you're ready, and I do want to talk to you about a little idea I had for a logo and the coat of arms kind of things that John brought up the other, gosh, was it a week ago?
Okay, yeah. I'll put my info in here.
Oh, that would be amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, we can help each other. Anybody, I'm happy to help. If you guys.
Fabulous. Because you've got the talent that.
In this past life, I am an award-winning creative director, and I have a lot of great marketing and branding skills. I just can't. It's hard to do it for yourself. Oh my God.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, the cobbler's children with no shoes.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that really is a cool idea, and not only to have the artwork, but to have the bio behind the artwork.
Yep.
Like what the meaning is of all the pieces in the
exactly. And I've really thought about going into the whole, medieval heraldry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what certain symbols connect to and all that stuff.
And Allie, what you might do, like when you are doing an intake, like let's say you get somebody that wants you to create one of these, you might create an intake form where they give you their company culture, and then you're literally creating this around their culture and their company, like what all the pieces and the emblem will stand for.
Oh, absolutely.
And
then there's the spin-off of, you've got to have the shirt with your herald, all the heraldry, the patches for your blazers, the
hats, shirts, mugs, coffee mugs. So
the colors for your thoroughbred horses.
The
tail of your plane. the name of your boat.
Yeah, exactly.
We could go with that.
Yeah, that's another thing. I don't know if you guys have seen the banner season thing, but Shantha does the banner season deal too. And it's kind of like the send out card deal, but they've got, you know, cooler products and it's a whole lot easier to work with their platform. But they'll put your logo on all of their stuff. Like even the brownies, you can get the brownies sent out with your coat of arms on it.
Yeah,
then,
I know. I you know, Shantha's awesome. So
yeah, that would be really cool. You guys should connect and you know, Allie should probably become a, you know, one of your distributors, Shantha. And then when she sells her coat of arms, she can connect them to there so they can deliver the product. And that would be a really cool opportunity combination.
Absolutely. See,
Yeah.
on top of everything else, you're a great connector, John.
yeah,
Yeah,
well,
oh yeah, I can like, oh, okay, I can see this stuff all working. The gears mesh and it all works together. So
Sure does.
John, I have a question. One of my friends, she's interested on this Be Connected, but she already has Zoom and webinar for a team because she has like 4 people in the whole in her team.
okay.
And she was asking me if I already have a team, it's a whole team. So with this platform, I will be able to maintain for the $9.99.
It won't do a team. It's a single Zoom account.
Okay.
So if you have multiple users on the Zoom account, it won't work for that.
Okay, you have to be singular account. Perfect. Okay.
Yeah, it's a single Zoom account. So that's one thing. If you go to sign up for the Zoom platform, I had a little bit of trouble with it in the beginning because I had an additional user on mine because I had a moderator. And when I went to connect, it didn't work. And we had to get with the Zoom technical support. And they said it was because I had 2 users. I had to delete a user. It only works with a single user Zoom account. So that's something to know. And most everybody has a single Zoom user account.
Yeah.
You can always, once it's up and alive, then you can go back and you can assign moderators for anything that you want to do. But you just can't have them on the account.
Okay.
You just have to sign them up and, you know, on top individually. So cool stuff.
so there's a way around. So you own the account, but you can have moderators that were previously on your Zoom account.
Correct. Like when you set up, let's say you set up a webinar, for instance, and you've got the date and you're setting up the actual webinar, it will say there's a section for invite attendees where you can send out invites to people. And there's also invite a moderator. And all you have to do is just put their name and email address in, hit the button, and it sends them the link. And when they log in, they're a moderator for that webinar. So it's really easy to do.
Do they have to have any upgraded Zoom account at all?
No,
Or
they just have,
to
actually, they don't have to have a Zoom account at all. They just have to have an email.
Wow.
They got to have a name and an email. If they don't have a name and an email, you're out of luck.
Finding loopholes is the American way, and you're pretty much the best one that I know at it.
Yeah, I figure out how to get stuff done. All right, guys. Well, anything else before we wrap up here for today? Really cool. I wanted to share this with you guys. I'm actually doing right now, I'm doing the funnel camp. So I'm here with you guys and funnel camp is running.
Oh my goodness. Oh
So
my
it's another really cool way to automate. You know, once you do a live event and you record it, I've got it now over in Kartra. Kartra manages all the recordings, and I can give access to somebody to that training anytime. So now instead of me, you know, being live doing it, I can set dates for it, but I can also do it any day of the week. Like if somebody contacted me and say, hey, when's the next funnel camp? Oh, when would you like it? How about tomorrow? And you just send them the link or have them sign up. They get automated access and away you go. So what I'm going to be doing, just, you know, for a brainstorming idea for you guys to let you know what's possible. Now, I really don't have to do that training ever again. But during the training, what's really important to a lot of people is the interaction. So what I can do is I can tell everybody, and I'm thinking about how I'm going to do this, but anybody that buys into any of my trainings, like the funnel camp, the traffic camp, the whole bundle with all of them, I'm going to tell them that probably once a month, I'm going to have a Q&A day. So not only do they get the access to the material, they'll also get access to the Q&A day. So if they have any questions about the training, they can hop on the Q&A day call and get the answers to that on an ongoing basis. So again, I don't like to sell stuff and leave people behind. That's why I created the whole ongoing thing with the, you know, it wasn't the ACT program to begin with, but every program I've ever sold as a training program, I've always offered the ongoing support and mentorship, because that way everybody gets what they need and they get access to me for helping them do that. So I'm going to do it the same way here. I'm just going to probably do it once a month with a Q&A day.
It started with SEO Dominators, right?
Yeah, it started in like 2010 with the SEO Dominator Club.
Well, that's good to know. I've already done the funnel camp, so what you're showing right now is
it's the recording.
It's recorded.
Yeah, it's the recordings of that.
Okay.
So now the recordings are up and they're live, and anyone that bought access to that, I just sent the access to the membership area out to you guys. I think it was within the last couple of days. You should have gotten that.
That's looking so good.
Yeah, so those are all up. Now you have access 24/7 to all that training, and as you're going through it, you can take it at your own pace now. You can watch it, rewatch it, and you'll have access to those. Well, you guys have access to me on the call every week anyway, but for those that don't, I'll have the funnel day Q&A calls, and you know, they can hop on there and say, you know, get clarification on anything. So, and there's also stuff, you know, I'm constantly learning new tricks inside of Kartra. There's just...
They just sent a new email, I think this morning, that they just upgraded it more today too.
Yeah, like I didn't know that you can color code your tags. Like, I have a boatload of tags and I didn't realize you could color code them. I'm like, that's really cool. So anyway, just all kinds of good stuff. So, all right, anything else before we wrap up?
Good.
All right. Well, if any of you are in the funnel camp, I've got today. I'm going to be doing today and tomorrow. I'm going to do the the Q&A days from, I think it was from 1 to 4. So you should have got that in the email. If you have questions about the funnels, the Kartra, all of that, that's open to you.
Okay. John, how would can I set up a little Zoom meeting or call with you to talk? I have a couple of things I want to talk to you about.
Yeah, the easiest way is just to do it on the website. I've got those 15-minute sessions in there.
Okay, great. I'll do that.
That's probably the easiest way, because then it blocks it off on the calendar and I don't have overlap.
All right. Thank you so much.
Right,
awesome call.
Well, have a great week, and we'll talk to you next week.
Okay. Bye for now, everybody.
Bye-bye. See you in funnel camp, John.
Yeah.
I'm stalking you.
Oh, have at it.
Okay. Bye-bye.
I'm too big to hide.